Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone, or good day, good morning from wherever you are hearing my voice. How are you? I'm coming to you this day to discuss certain pertinent immigration matter with you um, that people have been bringing to us, and I think it is worth discussing so that people can be aware of their rights even as they stay in the United States of America. My name is Janet Fashakin. I am an attorney at law and I'm the CEO of Fashakin and Associate PC. As you can see at my back, we are located at 10522 Jamaica Avenue in Richmond Hill, New York 01418. By the grace of God, we are licensed to practice immigration law in all the 50 states of the United States of America by virtue of the license that has been given to us to represent federal cases. We are also an award-winning law firm. We recently won we are one of those who won the 2021 Best of the Best Attorneys and Top 10 Attorneys uh, in New York. This afternoon, I want to discuss what we call immigration based on abuse. And specifically, I want to discuss immigration based on parental abuse. Many times we concentrate on abuse as between husband and wife. Wife can abuse the husband can abuse the wife. And sometimes we also talk of child abuse, but we rarely look at parental abuse. And in recent times, I have discovered that a lot of parents that are brought to the United States of America by their citizen children are being abused. And sometimes they are being left stranded, not knowing what to do. They don't have money to go back home, staying at home with the abusive son or daughter or son or daughter in-laws. It's not an option. Life is just so difficult. One was relating to me that he was brought here to by a son to help the wife to take care of their children so they can go to work. And has been with them for almost 8 years now. They will not file for him. They will not allow him to go out to get job. They will not give him money, but they buy food for the house, and that's all. And he said at one point he wanted to return back to Nigeria. They will not give him money. He had to raise money among his church people to go back. And shortly after, like 1 year after, they sent for him again. And being a parent, a loving parent, who did not want uh, his her son, our grandchildren to suffer, she came back. And in coming back, the suffering was even more. He said when he went the first time, the people that gave him money were just from the church and even from the neighbors. He said he raised a total of $150. When that money finished, he sent to the son, and the son said the only option was for him to come back. He came back, and till today, he did not receive anything in terms of immigration filing. He said the daughter-in-law was making his life miserable. Sometimes when the husband is not home, which is his son, the daughter-in-law we can take food and almost use it to shook his mouth to say that he was too choosy um, in terms of food, or he was too wasteful, or he was dirty, things like that. That was culturally an anathema, culturally wrong, especially for African people. Daughter-in-laws don't do that to their father-in-laws or their mother-in-laws, or even to their in-laws generally, period, end of story. But these parents do go through this kind of hardship. I want you to know that hope is not lost. The Congress had you in mind when they made that law on immigration based on abuse. That abuse also covered parents. Uh, a parent who is abused by a US citizen son or daughter can apply for immigration protections under the Violence Against Women Act. That Violence Against Women Act is not only for women who are abused or men who are abused, it also covered you as a parent. What is an abuse? Abuse is when you do something to another person that kind of hurts them, cause them pain. It can be psychological, it can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be in any form. But for it to qualify, it has to be extreme. It has to be something that shocks the conscience, something that people will look at and say, "Ha, that kind of abuse." And normally, physical abuse normally involves injury, but that's not always the case, like I said. A witness who sees a son or a daughter beat up his parents can come forward, can even report it to police. And the police report is a plus, but sometimes parents don't want to drag their children that way. Even though the children don't care about the parents, parents do care about their children. They may not do that, but if you have a witness, that's a plus. But whether you have a witness or you don't have a witness, what you are going through is subjective to you. You know it, and you know that it is painful. I will advise that you speak to a lawyer, speak to an attorney, speak to an abogado, as they will say it in Spanish. Speak to agbẹjọ́rò, as they will say it, like in Yoruba in Nigeria. Speak, speak up, and let somebody help you. Your lawyers can help you. I don't know if you have one or not, but you can call up lawyers. You can call us up. We represent cases all over the United States. Um, Circumstances matter greatly. Many families argue, they even fight. The level of cruelty must be greater than not so unusual problems in the family. Normally, the cruelty is over the course of time to show there is no love in the relationship and that the victim is not a willing participant in the aggression. So if it's gone on like this by a man that has been with the family for going to 10 years and they have not deemed it fit to even file anything for him, whatever they give him is what he has to eat. There is no pocket money and so on. That's a serious abuse. That's a serious abuse. It's not only when you begin to punch him alone. It's not only when you begin to drag him on the ground, and it's not only when you begin to call him names again. Starving an elderly person, ridiculing an elderly person to that extent that he has to rely on other people to feed. It's really serious. It's an abandonment on the part of the son. He might say, but he lives with me. He might be living with you, but you have psychologically abandoned your parents, and it is not right. Who do you consider to be parents? Parents are not only biological parents. Your step parent is also your parent. Your adoptive parent is also a parent. But the most important thing is that you must have lived together in the same household at some point, not necessarily at the point when you are filing. Um, you must have decided together for you to be able to take advantage. You may have moved out. Maybe somebody else may have asked you to move in with them. People who saw your suffering, or you may have been able to get money somehow. Maybe you were forced to go and work even without papers, and you were able to get money to put together to get a room to be able to get away from them. The fact that you are not living with them presently does not matter, but at least you live with them at some point. And you must still be a parent to that child. You must not have given your parental right up at any time, and the child must be over the age of 21. Um, if your 15-year-old is the one that is doing that to you, as a parent, maybe you just hand him over to police or to social services to discipline for you if you cannot discipline that. The person must be over 21 years of age. and having some kind of control over you by virtue of you maybe living with them by virtue of their being citizens, which you are not, and you don't have any claim of citizenship. You can also have adoptive parents. Who are adoptive parents? Adoptive parents are parents that took you over. Maybe when your parents didn't want you, maybe when they abandoned you, they took you over. They are taking care of you they took care of you as their children. You are now grown enough to be able to have them with you. You are the citizen child. Maybe they came and you are one of those anchor children that they came and gave birth to in America and returned back. And now you are old, you are here, and you are a citizen, and the parents that made it possible for you are not. They don't have any status, and you are just so abusive to them. Uh, those parents can file under abuse. So in the case of adoption, if it appears that the son or the daughter and the adoptive parents can no longer reside together, it's possible that the adoptive parent may have moved out. That doesn't matter. You can still file for abuse. But what is important is that you have at one point or the other lived together and existed together at the time of abuse and at the time um, when you are going through what you are going through. Then I also have step parents. You may wonder, step parents like your mom's husband, that is not your father, your daddy's wife, that is not your mother. But nevertheless, you live with them at some point or you live together. They live with you. They suffer abuse at your hand. Or you are a parent, you suffer abuse at the hand of such a child that at one point you live together, but now he's in a position of control because he's a citizen and you are not, and is now punishing you for whatever reason. Uh, yes, you can file under abuse. Step parenting does not require that the corollary biological parent give up legal rights over the child. The step parenting relationship must have occurred during the abuse and at the time of filing the petition. In the event of death, separation or divorce from the stepchild's other parents, the abused parent must have maintained a parenting relationship with the abusive child through filing the VAWA petition. So, I mean, if you are a step parent and you have gone on to marry another man, you cannot be able to file under that. At the time of your filing, you must still be able to maintain that step parenting kind of relationship with that child. Um, all right. What about the other children that are in the family? Like if you have other children other than the abusive one, and those other children don't have any legal status, you cannot use that status to file for them. The abused parent may not include other children in the abuse petition. You cannot include them. And then when do you file? A parent's abusive petition can be filed only if the abusive child is over the age of 21, like I said previously. And where do you file? Do you only file when you are in the United States of America? Yes and no. Most abusive persons are in the US, and sometimes their parents are also within here in the US because that was where they live with them. But it is possible that you have moved back to your home country, uh, and you can file in the consulate there, but that can only be possible if your abusive child is an employee of the US government or is in the US Armed Forces and the abuse occurred within the United States of America. Even though you have moved out to back to your country, you can still be able to file for that abuse petition. Uh, what about working? Uh, After you file for your petition under abuse, if they have not done anything after you receive a receipt that they have received the papers and everything is okay, If for 150 days you don't hear anything from them, you can apply for your work permit. Lately, there has been delays in the issuance of the work authorization card for obvious reasons, the COVID-19, and then the slowness of the mailing system right now, since after President Trump told them to stand down their process because he didn't want people to file to vote by mailing. Since that time, it seems as if USPS has not recovered. So you may not get your things in time as it usually should have been. Just be patient, it will come. And don't give up and don't think that they have forgotten you. They have not forgotten you. It's because you have limited people working now. People are working remotely because of COVID-19. The postal system is not working well as well. Um, because working without authorization is not advised, but sometimes it is necessary to survive. Um, you may be able to get some jobs if they are not providing for you and you find another way to work. Well, that can be explained if they ask you about that. But personally, I will not advise that you work without papers. Now, all the decisions by the immigration and the judges are discretionary. It is important that you work with a competent immigration attorney in order to increase your chances of success and to secure your immigration benefits. If you want us to assist you, you can see our address at my back, and you can also see our phone number is 646-261 and 6030. I think I'm backing it. I don't know if I can position it well for you to see. Okay, that's the phone number, 646-261-6030. I hope this has been of benefit to you. If you are a parent and you are going through a lot of hardship at the end of your citizen, children or child, daughter or son, and you have no other way of getting your papers, this may be a very good way to get it. Because if you are being abused, the law of the land is against any form of abuse. And they will help you, they will assist you. So until I come your way again, my name is Janet Fashakin. I'm the CEO of Fashakin and Associate PC. We are located in New York, USA. But notwithstanding that, we can represent your case anywhere within the United States of America in immigration. For other cases, they are state-based. We also do family law. We do any form of litigation, federal or local. Uh, we represent, and you can ask us. We are litigation attorneys, and we have been doing this for the last 20 years, proudly serving the people of New York and the people of America generally in immigration matters. Thank you, and have a good afternoon.